Religion and Hollywood have a complicated relationship. Religious film often exists as an echo chamber, telling the audience exactly what they want to hear, affirming the idea of war on faith or attributing miracles solely to belief. Faith-based film markets itself, sometimes shamelessly, to its religious audience, and so they become formulaic. Critics hate them, but the religious audience loves them, and they make money, so that cycle continues. But there's one film that I believe could have changed that. One that explores faith with nuance and ambiguity and respect. That film? Silence is a journey of faith shaped by experience. The film uses the metaphor of religion as a plant, which grows under different conditions like church or community. See, instead of treating religion as fact, silence respects it by exploring the very idea of faith, questioning it and discussing it. Our characters are conduits for us to see faith shaped by the world around it, like a plant growing through seasons. We first see them in a place where faith grows most easily. In Macau, at a Jesuit church, Fathers Rodriguez and Garupe hear word that their teacher, Father Ferreira, has apostatized after years of persecution in Japan where Christianity is outlawed. We see that the church provides a clean structure for their life. They walk on marble floors, eat plenty, and are surrounded by people who support their faith. They gave up nothing to believe, they risked nothing, and in return, they're being given everything. Their faith is a plant growing because it is constantly being watered and taken care of. You can see why it's such a shock to them that their teacher would abandon Christianity. In their environment, there are only rewards for faith. So what if we took those rewards away? What if we stopped watering the plant? When the Padres head to Japan to search for Father Ferreira, we begin to see how faith can evolve. In the village of Tamogi, Rodriguez and Garupe meet a group of Christian farmers who practice their faith in secret, and the contrast is striking. The villagers have been given nothing in return for their devotion, yet they've sacrificed and risked everything for it. What inspires them to believe is the idea that there is something greater after this life. That reward is no longer physical, but it's ideological. They may live in hell now, but through faith paradise is attainable. They do not fear death because there is nothing for them in life, and it inspires the Padres to see the plant of faith grow despite such brutal conditions. But when the Japanese inquisitor hears of the spreading Christian faith in Tamogi and Goto, he tests the villagers by having them desecrate an idol of Christianity, and when they fail to do so, they're tortured and killed in front of their families. And up until now, belief has been inconsequential. There were risks, yes, but we had no punishment. And now we do. We feel faith being drowned out, that plant poisoned. And it's in that silence, when villagers are watching their loved ones die, that you can feel faith evolve. Silence is challenging doctrine. The enemy isn't trying to take your job or your money or your life. The Inquisitor doesn't kill Rodriguez because faith flourishes under persecution and martyrdom. Brave Padres dying for their cause. It kills the plant, but it spreads the seeds of faith. The Padres want to die as martyrs. Garupe is allowed to do this. He dies trying to save those he taught. Rodriguez is not. He's forced to make a more difficult choice. Apostatize, or those who follow him will die. Is his faith worth the lives of others? When Jesus died, his followers spread his legacy. But what if his followers had to die first? What would he have done, given that choice? Rodriguez asks these questions through every trial, and we spend so long without an answer, surrounded by the ambiguity that is silence. And we hear only the voices of those who are suffering because of his belief. And so we see faith change again and again. Rodriguez at one point questions the very existence of God. At another, he believes himself to be a Christ-like figure, and yet he fails to understand how Jesus could love and forgive all people. He wants to die a martyr, but he fears death greatly. This is faith changing, struggling to adapt, struggling to find answers. And we're given nothing but silence through every ounce of death and suffering and doubt. Until, for the first time, we hear a voice reach out. In the last moments of the film, our perspective changes. We're no longer carried through the story by Rodriguez, the man who's been so vocal this entire time. He's chosen to apostatize, like his teacher, to save others. But for the first time, it seems like he's found answers and found peace. But does his silence mean that he's abandoned faith? Maybe faith does not need to be spoken to be heard. Maybe we don't need symbols or rituals to believe in something. Maybe we don't have to spread faith for it to still exist. Belief battles our experiences because it has to. It isn't knowing, it's believing in those answers that we find ourselves. Silence respects faith in a way that other religious film doesn't. Faith is not a truth. It is an idea, an instinct that deserves to be explored through institutions and community, through sacrifice. It's always been a journey to find answers, but not in those experiences or the rewards or hopes, but in that ambiguity. Silence forces you to answer, to find something in nothing, to hear a voice in